These are some of the worst things about living in Tampa, Florida, and quick spoiler alert, they're actually not that bad. Here we go. I'm Sam, and thanks for coming by the channel. Here at Living in Tampa, we make videos about what it's like to live in Tampa or to move to Tampa. If that's something you want to follow along with, don't forget to subscribe down below. Also, we are licensed realtors, so if you have any real estate specific questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. Our phone number and email are right there on the screen. Of course, you see all the videos of realtors in Florida talking about the negative things and then talking about how good they are. I want to share a little bit of my perspective just on what it's like to live here. So I've got two lists to go through. One, a list of things that if you can stand them, you'll be fine. And another list of things, if you love them, you'll really like it here. So one of the things you're gonna have to endure, and probably the one that sticks out the most to me, is bugs. I'm not like scared of bugs, I'm not like cautious around them or anything like that, but they do just tend to bite me. Mosquitoes, gnats, those kind of bugs, not the other bugs really. But there are a lot of all kinds of bugs and insects here, and that's just something you have to work around. Whether that means spraying pesticides in your house or putting out little ant traps whenever the ants start to rush into your house certain times of the year, or just thinking about what you're wearing as you go outside if you're prone to mosquito bites. It is just a factor of life down here. But I mean, there are some people that hardly get bit. Seems like most of those people have lived here a long time and have become desensitized. I don't know what it is. Either way, it's a factor. Next on the list is heat. Of course, Florida gets hot. That's what you would expect. It's a little tropical peninsula down here in the Gulf of Mexico and Atlantic Ocean. Of course it gets hot. And that hot season is pretty long. It goes on, it feels like. And it gets to a point where even the water at the beach feels a little too warm to be comfortable. But that's just summer down here. I've spoken to a lot of people lately from the Midwest and have sympathize with them that it also gets really hot and humid in the Midwest, and even where I'm from in eastern Oklahoma, it gets very hot and humid. But at least here we have water around us. You might get a little bit of breeze from that. Of course, as you go even more inland into Florida, you get less of that breeze. And with that, humidity is a factor down here as well. And mostly the way that stands out to me is you just sweat quite a bit during the summer, and everybody does. And you just kind of go from air conditioning to air conditioning and you make it work. Of course, when people call me, they ask a lot about flooding. Of course, flooding is a factor here, but it's not really as big of a factor as you think. A lot of these neighborhoods are designed with a lot of room for water to go. That's why you see a lot of these neighborhoods that have lakes and different waterways. Florida is pretty good at managing this water. I actually live pretty close to tidal waters, so the bigger threat for me is if there's a big storm surge and actually the high tide can come up into my yard, into my house. So if you're not really close to the water, you're not really thinking about high tide, then you're just thinking about rainfall and like moving water like that, and that's just not going to be as big of a threat as you think. Whenever there is a storm, the bigger threat is actually wind. That a tree would fall over onto your roof, then water would come in. That would not be flood insurance, actually. That would be your typical wind and hazard insurance. So flood insurance is only covering rising water, and there really isn't that much rising water down here. I should say, historically, there hasn't been much rising water. Of course, as I say that, there's going to be some huge storm or something. Maybe I'm being superstitious, but I don't want to put that out there too confidently. Next thing you'll have to endure in the Tampa area is traffic. As this area grows and grows, especially out in the suburbs, traffic gets worse and worse. And even over here where I live in Pinellas County, US 19, some people call it Fury Road, like the Mad Max movie. There's one section of US 19 that is one of the most accident-prone sections of highway in the whole state, and that's actually not that far from my house. But as development continues in already developed areas and in newly developing areas, this congestion and traffic continues to increase. Maybe infrastructure will catch up with this eventually, but it will take some time. Okay, so the last thing on my list of things you'll have to endure is actually something I hear from everyone else. Is low pay. There are a lot of low paying jobs in Tampa. There aren't as many mid and high paying jobs. Unless you're being recruited to come down here or you're bringing your job down here and working remotely, there are not a lot of high paying jobs. This is a conversation that I see online a lot, that there are a lot of jobs, but they're all minimum wage, entry level kind of jobs. and people often need more than that to support themselves and their families. Okay, and real quick, if you love these things, you will love it down here. If you love the heat and humidity, if you've been in a cold climate for a lot of your life and you're excited to be warm all the time, this is a great place for that. Next, if you love sunshine, this is a great place for that too. St. Petersburg is one of the sunniest cities in the US, right up there with Denver, Colorado, has the most sun. And we do get quite a bit of cloud cover, but it feels like the cloud cover is actually during the hotter season, during the storm season, whenever you really do kind of want some of that coverage. We do have beautiful beaches here, over here in Pinellas County. And then a little further south, there are some more beaches to visit down in Sarasota, beaches like Siesta Key, Coquina Beach, some really beautiful beaches. If you've always dreamed of having a boat, this is a great place for that. There are a lot of houses with water access, and as those get more and more expensive, people are choosing to go the marina route more and more. There are big marinas on the water that store your boat and then drop it down in the water for you whenever you arrive. One of my favorite things about the Tampa area is how green it is. Outside and inside, plants grow really easily. There's a wide variety of options, and I think it's really beautiful. And lastly, if you want to wear shorts most of the year, this is the place to be. I have plenty of pants and jackets from living in Colorado that I just rarely wear. I mean, at least they don't get worn out like they used to, because most of the year is in shorts. All right, these were just a couple quick lists. If you can stand these things from the first list, and if you love these things in the second list, then Tampa, Florida might be a great spot for you. If you think it is, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Our phone number and email are right there on the screen and in the description down below. Thanks for coming by.